Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today is the day I've been waiting for over 3 years. Superman is out on theaters, and let's see if James Gunn delivered after that fiasco that was Joker 2. Alright guys, so I just got out of seeing Superman, and my oh my, the critical drinker strikes again with another load of shit. This movie was far from a mess. If anything, it would be a beautiful mess. But you know what people say, but no, it was not a mess at all. It was just a joke. This movie was great. Great start to a cinematic universe. If you're a franchise out there wanting to start your own cinematic universe, take notes from this movie for sure. Because I love this movie, start to finish. It was, I'll say it, a bit political and woke. But, this is Superman. Like, he has always been woke. Like, I'll admit it myself. Yeah, he's an alien from another planet and stuff like that. But the part I want to go into is that they were referring to when Lois Lane was interviewing Superman, how he came into the other country illegally and took care of business and just left. That's not really immigration. Immigration is, going to a new country and living there. And Superman didn't stay in that country. He came back and lived his life out here in Metropolis. So it's not that political. And another thing I might want to add is nobody said stuff like this when the Avengers went to Wakanda in Avengers Infinity War. All of Captain America's team very much went to Wakanda. No one said anything, about immigration or it being too woke. And I bet you could say that because, Captain America, blonde hair, blue eyes, his character's a human, but what difference does it make? It shouldn't be the main focal point and focus about the movie. We should focus on how good the movie is and have good word of mouth, so the audience has a new franchise to believe in because of the bad taste that was left in fans' mouth after the DCEU. So I guess there's that on that. Shout out to the YouTuber The Noise in My Head. He talked about how in the early screenings of the movie that some of the test audience saw it. They said that there was a bunch of monkeys that worked for Lex Luthor making mean comments about Superman. That I thought was just a load of horse shit, because no way James Gunn was going to put that in the movie. But no, he did, and I was like, ain't no way this man did that. So it was kind of funny. Luckily, unlike how the Noise in My Head described it, it was not the main focal point of the movie. Lex Luthor just really hated Superman, so and he wasn't going to use an army of monkeys to take him down. Instead, he used a whole bunch of stuff to take down Superman. So that's that. Another thing I want to add, the Justice Gang, which the name could use some work on, but it's James Gunn. It's probably just temporary, or God knows if it's permanent. They were great in the movie, great supporting characters. I thought they were going to overshadow Superman, like how sometimes Tom Holland's Spider-Man is overshadowed in his movies with his supporting cast, which majority of the time just end up being main characters of the movie. But yeah, Guy Gardner was good. I'm so happy we saw a Lantern after 14 years. Hot Girl, very good. Um, Mr. Terrific, great character. Never thought he'd work in live action, but James Gunn always makes the most obscure and characters work in live action. So it was great to see him. That Supergirl cameo at the end was a bit hilarious. Still a bit upset that Meg Donnelly did not get the role, or Sydney Sweeney, but that's a whole different issue that we'll talk about later. It was great, absolutely great seeing um, John Cena's Peacemaker. I'll be honest with you guys, before I saw the movie, I had the suspicion, oh, Peacemaker's going to be in this movie some way or another. And once the movie did come out and I checked the cast, and it said that John Cena was in it, obviously as Peacemaker, I was like, okay, I don't need to know anymore. I can't believe my prediction was right. And going into the movie, I thought it was just going to be like a post-credit scene, but nope. He had a whole interview news segment with the talk show host, and I was like, oh my gosh, even better. So we'll have to wait and see how John Cena's character Peacemaker got into this new universe and why he wants to join the Justice Gang in the second season of Peacemaker. Overall, this is what I want to say about the director. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, this movie's going to be too funny. It's going to have too much music at the most inappropriate times because that's what James Gunn is known for." And I could see why some people were upset about that. But you got to look at James Gunn's movies outside of just the Guardians trilogy and the Suicide Squad. I'll be honest, I haven't seen them, but I know he's directed a few horror movies, so I'm pretty sure those don't have any comedy or music at the most inappropriate times. So that should have been, a good starting point in why we should trust James Gunn. Another thing. What else was I gonna say? Some people are complaining about Superman's flight mechanics. They're not that bad. Sure, they looked a little bit off in the trailers, but you gotta realize the trailers aren't the final movie. So give it some time and let it, see it for yourself in the movie. Ultraman. Boy, was I not expecting him to be portrayed by David Cornsweet. I know it sounds kind of dumb, but I'll be honest, I don't know. I didn't think much of Ultraman. You know what would have been funny? If Ultraman was portrayed by Henry Cavill. Really fucked with the fans, but no, apparently after Henry Cavill was over at Marvel, I don't think he'll ever go back to DC. Oh well, a guy can dream, for sure. But yeah, this movie lived up to my anticipation. I loved it. I'm definitely giving it a rewatch when it comes to HBO Max. And I have very high hopes for the DCU going forward. So thank you, James Gunn, for another great comic book movie. You're literally one of my favorite directors, I'll tell you that. And I can't wait to see what you have in store for this chapter of DC. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.